Notnerd Podcast, Episode 235. Elon Musk ask you a question.
Welcome to the Notnerd Podcast. I'm Nate Heath, and we are here to help you tech better. Here with me, as always, remotely, Mr. Dave Baylor.
Well, hello, my friend, my confidant, my inner soldier. What? I don't even know what I'm saying. I'm just making up stuff.
Yes. Well, hey, desperate
Good day
times
to
call
you.
for desperate measures.
That is true. What do we got on the docket for this fine day?
Oh, well, there's a little bit of news, not too much. It's like there's been other stuff going on in the world this last week that has taken people's focus, but I found some stuff that I thought we should talk about, something we missed last week. But I did want to start off with some follow-up, as we oft do. We were talking last week about your trip to the downtown Portland Apple store, and then I said, well, I think you went before Friday because it was looted and destroyed, not destroyed, but badly damaged and is now boarded up. I also saw that many of the stores were closed over last weekend to protect employees and take precautions with everything going on. But I did see this week, I know we've talked about it in the past, and I think we mentioned it last week, but I did see confirmation, several articles, and even some pictures this week that Apple has warned looters with stolen iPhones they are being tracked. And so I saw a picture of an iPhone screen, and when you turn it on, it says this phone is disabled and your location is being tracked. Information will be passed on to the authorities. So Apple...
What a waste.
Yeah. Yeah, I know, taking something that's not worth anything, but, and I did want to mention, because I was thinking through it, and it's my reason for bringing the writing or the looting stuff up. Apple is a very large company, one of the richest in the world. They're able to have these precautions. They've got enough money in the bank to survive, but I do want to console with the small businesses that after everything we've been through with COVID-19 and being shut down businesses, and then to have just this stuff going on where they don't have all of their equipment and inventory marked with tracking devices and everything.
Yeah, but, I've seen signs, in windows and some of the photos. I'm a single mother. This is all I have.
Please move on to my neighbor who I would rather have you take from. I will remind people we are the most nonpartisan tech podcast on the internet. We could spend a whole episode discussing problems of the world, but we like to focus on technology because we think that it is important and it does affect us. I do want to mention, because I was sitting there yesterday going, man, WWDC should be this week. And then I remembered quickly that they have moved it completely online and it has been delayed till June 22nd, so a couple more weeks, their developers conference, but I am keeping my fingers crossed that we might see some product releases leading up to WWDC as we have in the past couple years. There's been a bunch of products that are rumored to be, quote, ready to go that we have not seen yet, so we might see those now, and if not, we will most likely see some new products at the keynote at WWDC.
That's just right around the corner, and my ears always perk up for new Apple products, whether I buy them or not, whether I can afford them or not, whether I like them or not. I want to learn about them. And I'm looking for a distraction from the world burning down. I want to see something that I enjoy come out so I can, talk about it and participate.
Yes. Well, something you always talk about and participate in, Dave's Pro Tip of the Week.
Yes, and what better than a phone camera tip this week?
Yes, those are in heavy use.
Yeah, what's going on all over the world. So let us take a look at the camera icon on our iPhones. It may be on your front page. It may be on the last page. It may not be anywhere. You may have deleted your camera icon. I hope that is not the case. But just a simple trick that I'd like to share with you all is when you press down on an icon, some people may not even know this, on some applications, a little menu will come up. And if you keep holding longer, it'll wiggle and give you the X for like moving stuff around. But on the camera icon, it's one of these special applications that has a menu that pops out. So if you press down and hold on the camera icon, you're going to be treated to a shortcut, my friend, to be able to take a selfie, record a video, take a portrait, which is it uses the with the background blurring and all that good stuff, or take a portrait selfie, which would be on the forward-facing camera. And you can do that all right from pressing the icon. So if you're in a hurry and you know you need to record a video, you don't have to click on the camera icon, wait for it to open, navigate to the video section, press the video, and all this stuff. You can just quickly hold down, click record video, and it goes right to the video recording screen. Now, Nate, as a bonus, are there other applications that you regularly hold down on to get the sub menu to pop up?
There have been some in the past, and it's kind of, they used to put a big emphasis on it, and they put less of that now. But I'm trying to think. I know we've discussed some of them in the past, but if you do have apps that you use a lot, you can hold down, like I just did Twitter, which we'll be talking about a little bit later, where it gives me the options to capture, scan QR code. If you wanted to take a picture for Twitter, you can use that option, take the picture, and then be ready to tweet instead of pressing some extra buttons.
Yeah, I just looked on notes. We were struggling with getting my notes to sync earlier.
Yes.
But if you hold down on your notes icon on your phone or your iPad, you're going to be able to create a new note. And this is what's handy. You can create a new checklist, add a new photo, or scan a document right into a new note.
Wow,
So
that
those are
is
things.
a good one.
Yeah, like the checklist, especially because going into notes, creating a new note, selecting the checklist
Yes.
little icon and doing all that, that's kind of a chore. But if you can just set a new checklist up right away from the icon, then that's probably the way to do it.
Yes, I am going to do a side pro tip on this for people with the iPhones 11 of anything, going back to the camera app. If you are wanting to record a video, and this is a difference that I forget about. It used to be you open the camera app, it's on photo, you hold it down and it would do a burst mode for you and just take photos rapidly in succession there and store them all. Then you could choose from them later if you're trying to capture a moment or whatever. Well, now by default, when you hold it down, even if you're on photo mode, so when you open it up, it'll start recording video. So you can do that, and there's two options. So if you immediately swipe to the left, it'll give you burst mode, but then if you swipe to the right, you can lock it on video. Otherwise, it will just record as long as you're holding your finger down. But that's, I believe, just on the iPhones 11, so not everybody is as fortunate as I am. But if you do have a new phone, that can be another tip to save you some time when you're trying to capture something. Well, let's move on to our takes for the week. This first story, we completely forgot to talk about it last week. I was so excited about my new TV, which is still going great. Maybe I'll talk about that.
I was going to ask about that.
More next week. I might be ready by next week to make it a pick of the week, but we completely forgot to talk about a very important thing that happened. The SpaceX Crew Dragon launched astronauts into space to the International Space Station. Dave, I know you're a big space fan. I know that you watched this. We even talked about it off air last week and then forgot it on the podcast.
Yeah. The historic aspect of this event is that this is the first time ever that a commercial company has created a rocket and launched it itself into space. Formerly, governments had to do this stuff. NASA would get a big budget. They would work with private contractors, JPL and Lockheed Martin and all these other companies to create Boeing. I don't want to forget about Boeing.
Yes.
To create these vehicles, but they were more like Apple does with chips, right? They design the chip and then they have a chip fabricator make the actual chip. They don't have a factory that makes chips, at least right now they don't. And so NASA would do that. They would contract with these people. Well, for this launch, the difference is that SpaceX, which is ran by Elon Musk of Tesla fame, they conceived, designed, manufactured, and launched the rocket themselves. They partnered with NASA. They rent the space from them on the launch pad and the control room and all that stuff. But they did it themselves. And this is the first step for the commercial companies to enter low Earth orbit for astronauts. And then NASA is going to be continuing to take care of all the deep space stuff like trips to the moon, trips to Mars, etc. But for low Earth orbit, they're like, hands off. From this point forward, it's going to be commercial, or they're going to partner with other countries to send their astronauts into space.
Yeah, it's pretty crazy. I'll read just a brief paragraph from the NASA press release that I have in the show notes just to confirm what you said. For the first time in history, NASA astronauts have launched from American soil in a commercially built and operated American crew spacecraft on its way to the International Space Station. The SpaceX Crew Dragon spacecraft carrying NASA astronauts Robert Benkin and Douglas Hurley lifted off at 3:22 p.m. EDT Saturday on the company's Falcon 9 rocket from Launch Complex 39A at NASA's Kennedy Space Center in Florida. So, yeah, pretty cool to see the continuation or reinvigoration of space travel with the assistance of these commercial companies, and as NASA funding isn't what it used to be, they're finding new ways to do it. And we did watch it live on my old TV. Sadly, it was the day before we got our new TV, but it's just amazing to see how fast they're traveling. It gets up to 20 something thousand kilometers per hour, and seeing the rockets fall off. And then SpaceX has designed the launch rockets to gracefully land back on this carrier in the middle of the ocean so they can reuse them. And it's pretty cool stuff.
Yeah, and the broadcast itself was not unlike a Super Bowl event. It was fun to see all these nerds kind of taking over for sportscasters. They would go from one panel of people talking about it back to California to talk to the SpaceX crew. Then they would interview people, and then they'd have clips. It was like a 3-hour pre-show before this launch. Now, I missed the launch live, but pretty much watched everything that they did post-recorded on 2x speed.
Nice.
Or 3x speed.
Well,
and when it got, and then when it got to the launch, I watched it in real time and kept watching it for quite a while. As you were saying with the vehicle, they showed you like little maps and trackers and the speed, and it was really nicely done. It's kind of watching a video game or something like that. Very, very historic and very interesting to watch for sure.
Yeah. Our next story, as many could probably guess, this is one of those Captain Obvious stories that we seem to be doing over the last couple months. Twitter has a record-breaking week as users looked for news of protests and COVID-19. So with everything going on, they are saying that last Monday they had over 1 million installs, and around 1 million installs on Tuesday. People are looking to Twitter because it's just such a wide breadth of information. People going live, people, giving live updates on what's happening around them, people having discussions, sharing information. I'm still torn on Twitter, but I have definitely found myself using it much more this last week, just searching for information, trying to learn more, and going over things. And I think if you look in the right places, it can be a good place for that. There's also, as with everywhere, there's plenty of bad information and bad people, but just have to weed your way through that like we have to do in life. And I will also say to that, in the top spaces in many of the app stores were police scanner apps over this last week. I don't know if I ever picked one, but I had used some in the past. It would, when there's, as they say in this article, civil unrest, you can listen in on the police scanners and kind of see what's going on. I know that I did see in Portland that they had switched some of their communications over to encrypted channels. For whatever reasons they do that. But yeah, everybody's getting these police scanner apps. There was one that I heard about on another podcast. I think it's like $5, and it was like the top grossing app for a while this past week in the App Store, and was developed in like 2013 or something. So this guy, he is having a good week, whoever created that police scanner app.
And you can access a lot of those police scanners online through a website as well. So just do a search in Google if you don't want to use your phone to do that.
Yeah. CES has announced that they will hold an in-person and some things virtually in Las Vegas next year. So CES is in January. We always talk about it, and hundreds of thousands of people all come to Vegas together and do this huge trade show. So it's really, January think about how long and short these last 6 months have felt since the last CES. So, that could change in the next 6 months if it's deemed that it isn't safe, but they are planning to go ahead and do that. And we'll see. We'll see, as we've been talking about, how these in-person events change over the next 6 months.
Yeah. Are we going to go this year? It's in January. We got lots of time to plan.
I think we need to. For last year, I probably talked about it. I had pulled up the page looking at how you register and how you can get a ticket and all that stuff, and then I just didn't pull the trigger on it. But I think maybe now that I went to, ironically enough, Vegas twice in the month of February, shortly before it shut down for the first time ever for a couple months and is now opening back up. Now that I've been there, I think maybe we need to do CES. We could have a lot of, it would be like our Disneyland for you and me to go there and walk around and just look at millions of pieces of technology, see the tech celebrities that we follow. It would be going to the Academy Awards or something for some people, or, the Super Bowl.
Right.
It's our Super Bowl, CES.
Is our Super Bowl.
Another thing I put in the takes, I saw this story, and we had even teased it without mentioning the app for a while back. It's something you are using quite a bit. And
I use it on pretty much every device.
And I have used it some, but it is a new web browser. And we were just talking about web browsers the other week and using DuckDuckGo as your search thing. But there is a browser called Brave Browser. And you probably haven't heard of it unless you listen to tech podcasts, because they did some advertising and talking about it. But it is a browser based on Chromium. So it's what Chrome is built on. It's also what Microsoft Edge is built on now. Many browsers are able to use the Chromium kind of code base to build their own browser, but it is completely security focused. And Dave, since you have been using it a lot more than me, why don't you talk a little bit about what it means to use Brave Browser?
Yeah, well, it feels just like Chrome. It looks and feels and acts just like Chrome. You can install Chrome extensions, Chrome themes, all these things. And so if you're a Chrome user, there's really no difference. Where the difference lies is in the security aspects, and there's a lion in the URL bar that either turns your shields on or off. And I typically have the shields up for every website I go to, unless it kind of breaks something, and then you can turn off stuff. But as an example, you can turn off cross-site trackers, turn that on and off, connections to upgrade to HTTPS. You can turn that on and off. You can turn scripts on and off. If you block scripts, that will break a lot of websites.
Yes. Oh, yes. As a website builder, I can tell you that it never ceases to cause me issues.
Yeah, but there are other things, and you can go into the settings and get really advanced. But it's just kind of like a built-in tracker blocker and ad blocker, and it works surprisingly well. But there is a huge benefit that is not oft talked about. They integrate with the BAT, the basic attention token, which is like a cryptocurrency, and you can earn basic attention tokens by merely turning it on. Then you can link it to a partner that they have, uphold.com, which is a cryptocurrency locker type bank place. And every month, depending on how much time I spend browsing using the Brave browser, when you create a new tab, it'll throw up sometimes an ad on the new tab. I usually don't even notice it because it's like a well done photograph that looks nice, so I don't even really realize it's an ad. And then at the end of the month, it's like, hey, you've earned 5.6 BATs and you can put them in your fund. So that's what I do. And over the past 6 months or so that I've been using this, I've earned like $30 worth of money.
Hey,
and
geez.
Yeah. And so the trick there is I get the basic attention token, and through the Uphold account, you can transfer it to cash or to other cryptocurrencies. And so I immediately turn it into Bitcoin. And so I just stick it into Bitcoin. Nice. And it's just building up. And when I have a sizable amount, I'm going to transfer it out and buy something with it probably. So.
Yes. And I believe I did set this up on notnerd.com. They have a thing for content creators, people with websites where you can be tipped. And I believe I set up the account. So if you visit notnerd.com, you can tip us some cryptocurrency through the Brave browser.
and I'm selfish and stingy, and so I have all my automatic tipping turned off.
Yes.
Because if you do visit some websites, it will give those basic attention to token credits to them instead of you. I have them all turned off because I want to see how much money I can.
Get that cash.
I want to get that dollar a month coming in.
But I forgot, we got so busy talking about it. The whole reason we're talking about it in our takes is they announced that they have passed 15 million monthly active users. So that is not a large number in browser share, but it's starting to get out there. It's got, like, the biggest reason I use Chrome over Safari is that you can have profiles in Chrome. I can set one up for me. I could set one up for a client with all their accounts. You can switch between them. You can do the same thing in the Brave browser. It's a lot more lightweight. It's faster. Chrome gets very bloated. So I really do want to play around with it some more. So I wanted to make sure we brought it up this week.
Yeah.
Our last take this week, I said it was kind of a slow news week. And so this was an article I had found a couple weeks ago. It is just a deep dive into all of the technology that they build into those Google Street View vehicles that drive around and do all the mapping, talking about the lasers they use, the LiDAR for depth control, the special, I mean, this has more acronyms, nerdy acronyms in it, the DGBPS, Differential Global Positioning System, the IMU, Inertial Measurement Unit, and it goes on and on, the GPO, Google Pose Optimizer, which has been replaced. They were also talking about how they had the Wi-Fi scanners where they were picking up any Wi-Fi signals as they drove around, but they got called out on the security implications of that and having all that information. But one of the interesting things I didn't know is that in September 2018, they were integrating air quality sensors. So while these vehicles are driving around taking all these geographical and mapping measurements, they're also measuring air quality so that they can have data on, CO2, carbon monoxide, nitric oxide, nitrogen dioxide, ozone, and particulate matter. So they can gather a lot of data on just the general air quality while they're gathering all this other data.
I just had an idea. The EPA needs to have a program to outfit cars in the U.S. with this, and they would give them some type of a break or a subsidy or something. That'd be a great way to get a lot of data.
Yes, yeah. So, and good use of these vehicles. There is a lot going on there, and there's video and some images in the link if you'd like to learn more about what they're doing. And I'm sure Apple's vehicles are very similar in their technology that they're using for the mapping as well.
Very neat.
Security and privacy stories of the week. The first one, Google. How often do we talk about Google? And
we just got done talking about Google.
Yes, and their privacy implications. Well, they are facing a $5 billion with a B lawsuit in the U.S. for tracking private internet use. So when people are using the incognito mode, which is not supposed to do any tracking, some security researchers have found that they were doing some tracking possibly. So we'll see. We'll all get our 50-cent check from Google for this.
Another reason to use the Brave browser.
Yes, they won't be doing that. So, and the second one, there was a study that came out this week saying after a breach, users rarely change their passwords. So this is when Yahoo sends you an email saying, hey, your information was most likely taken because we didn't do a very good job. Please change your password. And according to the study, most people did not change their passwords, or if when they did change their passwords, they used a less secure one just because they were trying to change it in a hurry. So I think
a lot of people have fatigue too with all these breaches. They're like, you know what? I don't care anymore.
Yeah. And I've actually, over the last couple of weeks, been having some conversations with some of my clients about using a service like LastPass, which I always recommend to save their passwords. One of the clients, I know he uses the same password for just about, or he has 2 or 3 that he rotates between all the different websites. So I said, please use LastPass. This is a ticking time bomb here to having real issues. And then another one who I had set up LastPass for his company. They never used it. After a year, we canceled it. And he goes, One of my employees was saying, maybe we should use something like LastPass to track all our passwords. And I said, yes, what a great idea. He remembered that we had done it, but it helped me realize that I just hadn't done a good job to my clients of explaining the importance and the time saved, just the complete holistic cost of using a password manager like LastPass, where there's a lot of upside for your security and very little downside, but people just have no frame of reference for what it is. So I did want to mention this story and say, if you use something like LastPass, it is very easy to change your password. Our bonus odd take of the week is kind of a two-part one. The first one is a video that you found called IKEA Heights, episode 1, which was actually done like over 10 years ago. And it is a very short, not movie, but more of like a sitcom or TV show. It's only less than 5 minutes, that was done completely within an IKEA. So they just used the rooms already set up on IKEA and did this campy little show based there.
Yeah, and there's people walking around in the background, like shopping and stuff.
Yeah.
But the cameras are focused on the actors, and it's surprising how much your brain just kind of turns that off and looks at the actors and what they're saying. And it's all soap opera, melodramatic. It's hilarious. I've watched 1 or 2 episodes, and one of these days I'm going to sit down and watch all of them. But it's really old. They have been making newer ones. So anyway, it's great.
Randall Park is one of the stars. And a quick sidestep, we watched a movie just randomly. We rarely watch movies, called Always Be My Maybe, I believe on Netflix. Mm-hmm. Good movie. We turned that off. We wanted to watch something else. We'd been watching the last season of Community, and for the first time in 7 seasons, at the end of the episode, he shows up for about 5 seconds. The coincidence that we watched a movie for one time and then happened to watch the one episode of a TV show from 3 or 4 years ago where he was there also.
Yeah, he's Asian Jim in The Office as well.
Yes.
Primary character in this.
He's a very funny guy, and he's been in a lot of stuff. Good comedian. Well, the other part of the bonus odd take is Astronaut IO, and no, this has zero to do with the moon landing, but what you do is you click on this, and it goes out and finds YouTube's, I think it somehow searches for the least views on YouTube videos, and it'll show you 2 seconds of these videos, and they're the most random, the random stuff. There's a little button below the YouTube viewer where you can stop switching if it's something that you actually want to watch. Whether or not that will happen is up for debate, but a very weird website.
What does the astronaut and the astronaut.io have to do with anything?
I think somebody had a good domain name, and maybe it's you're searching through space. They do have in the background images of the Earth and everything, but
it's just random video clips.
Random stuff. I mean, you just find the most random stuff that nobody is watching. This is not going to find you any viral videos, but if you want to pass some time and watch see what all's being uploaded to YouTube that they're not promoting to you, this is the way to do it.
You could save your thumb from flipping through Instagram or TikTok because this just plays it automatically.
Yeah, there you go. It's like an auto-scrolling TikTok or Instagram for you. So pretty interesting little thing. But you know what else is always interesting? Our picks of the week.
I dug this one out of my pick of the week pile. My pile's getting kind of low. I need to refill it back up. But I don't know. It's several months ago, I made a ridiculous video. I think I posted it to, maybe it was Instagram or to Twitter. I can't remember. But I was lip syncing a cover by Puddles, the Pity Party Clown.
Yes, we might have linked to that on the podcast in a previous episode.
Chandelier by Sia. So this is a very meta. Anyway, I did all the video effects on my phone using Glitch Art Studio. And I haven't really talked about the program that much, but it's a free program you can put on your phone. You just import video from your camera roll, and you can do all these kind of what they call vaporware aesthetics, kind of the pinks and the blues with like scan lines and some glitches, and make it look like it was played back from a VCR or an old video camera. And if you pay the $5, I think it was $4.99 or something like that, to unlock all the pro features, you basically just get more presets and the ability to change.
Nice.
So I can go in there and I can tune my videos to make them look crazy if I want to. But it's a lot of fun if you're into any type of video editing and you're just looking for something easy to use on your phone for different effects and stuff. I mean, for video professionals out there, there's so many tools.
Yeah.
And you could record something on your good camera, import it into your phone, do something in Glitch Studio, export it back out to your computer. I mean, it's crazy. For $5, you could do all this stuff that you might have to pay hundreds of dollars for filters and stuff for a professional editing program. So
this would be great for our friend Todd of IPVHS fame, which his YouTube channel is growing. And something I did not mention earlier, I actually got to see you in person this past week for the first time in months. And I saw Todd a different day.
Wow.
I had some extra VHS tapes that I dropped off to him, and he's creating some videos besides ripping his VHS, and this could give him the effects he desired to get that good VHS look. But,
oh, yes, it would be great for him.
Yes. Well, my pick of the week this week is, I know we've talked about it. We briefly mentioned it even last week because they're adding some new of the sharing features. But this couple days ago, I used Plex. Mm-hmm. And I know we talked about it. I don't think it's been a pick of the week. But what Plex is completely cross-platform. It's available on everything. And I had a movie file on my computer that I wanted to watch on the TV. Now, there's a lot of ways to do that, but Plex kind of uses one device as a server, and then you can add the app to a phone or Apple TV or whatever it is you have, and then stream it to there. And it just does a really great job. It made it really easy. You don't have to, it's all wireless, goes over your network. They even have some premium features where you can download stuff then to your devices from whatever your server is, and your server you could get one of those cheap Raspberry Pis, an extra computer if you have a desktop that's always on. I was using my laptop because that's where the movie file happened to be, but I didn't want to AirPlay on my laptop and do it that way.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I use Plex a lot. That's when I have videos that I rip here at home or other content that I don't get through iTunes or whatever. Plex is the way that I get it to my devices, to my TV, to my whatever. And I've shared my library with some friends, and so they can just access it from their devices. And ironically enough, I just talked to my buddy Dave, and he had remembered me kind of touting the power of Plex a while ago, and he had a video that just would not play. It was on his Mac Mini, and he wanted to stream it to his TV, and it wasn't working. He didn't know why. It worked before, and he's just like, enough. And so he downloaded Plex, set it up, threw the movie in there, and then access it on his TV in less time than it was taking him to troubleshoot the issue with his Mac Mini. He's now like a fan of it. So
it's really easy to use, and it is really good at converting and making sure things will play, organizing. And they've added now, they have streaming options, so you can, if you have subscriptions to services, you can do it all within the Plex app. They have music tie-ins. I mean, it is becoming it used to just be kind of this very nerdy service to stream all your illegally downloaded movies to your TV, but now it just really, it is nice. So check it out. Definitely check that out. It'll make your life easier. You don't have to then, have the movie on your computer playing and then streaming to the TV. It just does it all in the background and makes you happy. Our Ramazon purchase of the week, we love it. Love it, love it, love it. When you guys go through our Amazon affiliate links or go to amazon.notnerd.com and it redirects you into Amazon, we get a little kickback for whatever you buy. And then I go in and snoop through the anonymous reports to see what you all are buying, and we pick something to talk about. This week, I've got the Marge Plus compatible with Apple Watch Band 38mm 40mm, 42mm, 44mm with case woman bling wristband for iWatch Series 54321 metal stylish strap.
Wow, that's a mouthful.
It is a mouthful. So, Dave, I will send you over a picture just so you can imagine this. And we've talked about Apple Watch bands on Amazon before. I've bought a couple. There is something for everyone on there. This one is a very thin, feminine band with some little fake diamonds on there, I can only assume, and it comes with a little case for the Apple Watch part. It's just not a band. It looks like it comes in a couple different colors, but if you're looking for something very fashionable and dainty for your Apple Watch, was this you, Dave? Did you purchase this? Hold up your wrist.
This actually was me. I purchased
Ah.
it for my wife, however,
Oh, gotcha.
because it was her birthday.
Nice. Yes, it
I
was.
won't say what number her birthday was, but one of the things that I got her were a bunch of different Apple Watch bands
Oh, cool.
because she has friends who have like an evening wear one and a sports one. And she just had kind of the Velcro-y one that we got her when we originally got the watch that she uses for exercise and whatnot. So anyway, I'm proud to announce that most of the ones that I picked out for her, she really, really liked. And so
Nice.
this was one of those. And so I'm familiar with kind of what the price is. I think it was this one was either $17 or $25. It was kind of in that range. I can't remember. They ranged in prices from the ones that I bought.
It's currently $16.49.
Yeah,
so it looks
this
like
is the
it's been
$17
floating
one.
Yeah.
So anyway, I think the more expensive ones were the leather ones that I got her. So this was me. I did it. I'm guilty of buying something.
But how then you can give us a live review. We don't have to wait for somebody to get back to us. What do you think? I mean,
yeah, it's, for $17, you're not going to get Cartier or anything like that. And so, the build quality is relatively good. The little fake diamonds look like fake diamonds. And I can see that the chrome over time will probably flick off and, cause after
but again,
it wears.
It's $16 instead of
for something
$200 from Apple.
Right. If it's something you're just going to wear occasionally, and then wear your sport loop the rest of the time, then this is a great thing. It really dresses up the watch and makes it look like a piece of jewelry versus kind of a utilitarian thing. So
nice.
Yeah, I recommend if you're looking for a little bit of a change, get some new watch bands. They're inexpensive and you can really change your whole style and look by just changing the watch bands and then change your watch face to match.
Yes. Yeah. I like that. Well, thank you for supporting Notnerd with your affiliate purchase. Since you are able to do that, I can't because it's signed up under my account. But and thank you to everybody else for listening and to continuing to shop on Amazon. We talked a little bit while ago that they vastly reduced the commissions on the affiliate program. So our numbers are down a little bit, but you guys are still buying stuff and it's still helping us keep this going. So we do appreciate that. We appreciate you guys pumping up the podcast to your friends, telling others about it, saying, hey, you got technology questions? Ask these guys, because we know way too much and we don't get to talk about it often enough in our hour-ish episode each week in the things we do cover. And we don't know what you don't know, and you don't know what you don't know. So if you got a question, if you think there's got to be a better way to do this, let us know, because we would love to help you out. Now get out there and tech better. Hold on. Try again.
Testing 1, 2, 3.
Oh, there you go. There you go. That's weird. Just took it a second. Okay.
Lettuce. Tomato.
Yuck.
Oh yeah, your least favorite food.